Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first episode of Maritime Wrestletime podcast.
Number one.
The best podcast in the Maritimes for your source of wrestling news.
Damn.
That's
We're not
right.
even the number one contender, we're just number one.
We're just number one, that's
Damn.
right. We just started and we're already number one. That's correct, that's a fact. You can quote us on that. I'm Alex and I'm here with my co-host Zach.
Hey,
And
hey guys, how you guys doing?
today we have a great selection of topics for you guys. Should we just start it off with NXT Takeover?
Yeah, well, maybe name all of the topics just to be sure that, we don't get anything mixed up. But we do
Sure.
have the NXT Takeover. We're going to talk about that pay-per-view coming up on Saturday. We're going to talk a little bit about AEW's Saturday Night Dynamite. We're going to talk about Retribution and their contribution to WWE.
Clever, I like it.
We're going to talk about Raw Underground.
Correct.
That's going to be Alex's thing. I have nothing written down, so we'll see where that goes. We're going to talk a little bit about the pay-per-view bookings, because there's something really weird that we noticed. We're going to talk about the bad booking segment. That will be our opinions, and you guys can obviously tell us off if you want. And we also have our SummerSlam preview and predictions. So that'll be the first episode. And should we just get right into it?
Yeah, let's get right into it with NXT Takeover.
So NXT Takeover is this Saturday. The first match I have written down is the ladder match for the vacant NXT North American Championship.
What a champion.
Vacant has won a lot of championships, let's just put it that way.
Hell of a champion.
Bronson Reed, Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes, Johnny Gargano, and Velveteen Dream. Alex, are you excited for this match at all?
I am excited. I'm also a little bit hesitant because I haven't been following NXT as closely as maybe I should have been. And a couple of these names I'm not super familiar with, mainly Bronson Reed and Cameron Grimes. I did take a look at Cameron Grimes a bit last night, cowboy looking guy.
Yeah.
Kind of cool looking. But any match with, Johnny Gargano and Velveteen Dream is sure to be
Right.
one hell of
and
a
let's
match.
be real, if you've seen anything NXT, you know that a ladder match means just beauty.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was the fatal four-way tag team match where I think it was the Street Profits that won.
Mm-hmm.
That was an amazing match, and there was I believe it was the first North American Championship match was also a ladder match with Adam Cole winning that one.
That's correct.
So I think it's going to be a great match. I think, of course, you've seen Gargano do so many different things with the ladders. It'll be interesting to see what Bronson and Cameron Grimes do, because like Alex said earlier, he doesn't know them. I know him a little bit, but I probably have the same place that Alex is. Velveteen Dream is probably going to jump off some kind of ladder at one point. And my pick to win, actually, is Damian Priest. I think that he's been there just a little bit longer than the other guys. I think that if you give it to Gargano or Dream, you're not really pushing anybody else. I mean, they've already been pushed enough, I think. And I think that it's Damian Priest's time, who was on the Survivor Series team for NXT. So I do believe that Damian Priest will win this match. That's my prediction. Alex, what's yours, baby?
And I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Damian Priest is a great choice here. I think it's kind of a waste if you put the title on Johnny or Velveteen.
Yeah.
Not that they aren't great wrestlers and wouldn't be great with the belt on their own, but it's things we've already seen before. They're not going to create any new storylines from it or anything big, or they're not going to push them further than they were before.
Yeah. What do you even do with Gargano as North American champion?
Exactly.
Right? Do you make the John Cena U.S. title run all over again? Like, there's I think it should be given to somebody who deserves it a little bit. Well, not that Gargano and Dream don't deserve it, but I think that giving it to a guy like Damian Priest elevates him, and it'll elevate him to fight people that are more recognized for the title after. So I think Damian Priest is going to win.
Yeah, no, I think I'm all aboard with that. And from what I have seen from Damian Priest wrestling, he's solid on his own. He can definitely hold his own, and I think we've got a bright future ahead for Damian Priest.
I'm going Damian Priest.
I'm also going Damian
You're
Priest.
also going Damian Priest.
I think that's going to be my decision for that match.
You guys hear a crayon right now. It's me writing down the predictions. I don't think we have a wager just yet. We do have a small toy WWE belt
that would be interesting
that we could share between us. But I'm really excited for that match.
I am very excited as well. It's going to be a hell of a match.
The next match is the women's match.
Yes.
Io Shirai, the champion, faces Dakota Kai with I don't know is it Raquel? I have no idea. We watched the video and they were just saying Gonzalez, so we're gonna say with Gonzalez. So Io versus Dakota, Alex. What are you most looking forward to out of this match?
Definitely seeing Giant Gonzalez's daughter. No, I don't know. I think both of these women have definitely put on great matches in the past, and again, not having been keeping up with NXT too much, I don't really know how long of a storyline this has been. I do remember, however, I think it was it War Games where Dakota Kai attacked her own team.
Yes, it was. She attacked Tegan Knox, if I believe.
Yeah.
Let me Google that to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it was Tegan Knox.
Yeah, and since then, I kind of have been aboard the Dakota train, you know. I've been wanting to see that push. And how long has Io been champion? Hasn't been
that
too long, but...
But yes, you were right. It was I was right. It was Tegan Knox that Dakota attacked.
Yeah.
I don't think Dakota's going to win. I think Io keeps it.
Really?
Just because I don't feel like it's been long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I mean, I wouldn't be upset that Dakota would win it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be that kind of match. Do you remember the Aleister Black versus Andrade match for the championship where Zelina Vega jumped for Aleister, missed, caught by Andrade, and then Aleister Black masked and the match was over.
Yes.
And Aleister won the championship for the first time.
Amazing match.
I feel like it's going to be that kind of finish. I feel like Io's going to do something incredible, and I'm sure Gonzalez is going to be involved somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that she misses Io and then she hits Dakota, and that's what finishes the match. So I think Io Shirai is going to win this one.
I'm going to go against you on this one. I'm pretty confident in Dakota Kai. I think they've been setting her up for something big, and I think it's kind of a wasted opportunity to have all of that set up from way back when at War Games, just to have her finally get her title match and then just finally lose it.
To be fair, she's had her feud with Tegan already. Mm-hmm. She already had that match where they introduced Gonzalez.
That is true,
so, I would see it either way. I think it's going to be a good match. Io always gives a good match.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to go Io if you want to go Dakota.
I'm definitely going Dakota on this one.
The next match for the NXT TakeOver card is a very interesting one.
I still don't quite understand this match.
I'm trying to get it. I really am trying to get it. Adam Cole, probably, I don't want to say the best wrestler on the NXT program, but one of the most recognizable faces on the NXT program.
For sure.
Is going to wrestle punter Pat McAfee. I have no idea how to react to that. What's the purpose?
I wasn't even aware that he could wrestle. Is that a thing?
But he's an athlete. It's not like he's from just a random podcast guy like us and just going into fucking wrestle and all that stuff.
He wouldn't be the first one from a football background either.
Exactly.
Right?
That's oh my god, how many football players could have a podcast about that on its own?
Jesus.
But why? Why Adam Cole?
Yeah.
What's the gain for Adam Cole here? If he wins the match, people will be like, "Oh, it's obvious. It's fucking Adam Cole. Come on." Yeah. But if he loses the match, people will be like, "He lost to a football player. That doesn't make sense."
He lost to Pat. What's the point?
So, but I mean, it's the 30th anniversary. I guess they might treat Pat as a special kind of entertainment purpose for him to be in the match, but I don't know. I'm interested to see what he does.
Yeah, I don't see him winning the match. I definitely still see Adam Cole winning this match, but I do think they're gonna have to give him some kind of spot or some kind of special moment that makes it so the match isn't just a squash match for Adam Cole.
Exactly. I mean, he has to do the Randy Orton punt, right? He's a punter. That was his job in football.
That would make sense. I think that would be a good finish for him.
It was so weird. Even NXT last night, he comes out with 3 other football players to the Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
There's not going to be 4 football players in the ring. Why are you I get that with the Undisputed Era, but it doesn't make me more. What would have made me more excited would have been just Pat McAfee or Adam Cole. Someone attacks one and then the other, than have just 3 random football guys just come out with
it. Just doesn't make sense.
But I got Adam Cole. I don't see that Adam Cole would be okay losing to a football puncher.
Do you think that this leads to a match with the Undisputed Era versus those 4 football players?
I hope not. I really don't want that to happen. But we've been talking about Undisputed Era enough, just me and you without the podcast. I mean, they are so good together that I just wouldn't see, like, would it be like a DX versus fucking Spirit Squad kind of match? Like,
see, the thing is here, we also, like, we are giving credit to the Undisputed Era, but I think they would be able to make something out of it. I don't know what it would be.
That's true. I didn't think of that.
I have no idea what it would be, but I'm sure they could definitely make something out of it.
Yeah, and they're football players. It's not like, that's a tough sport to play.
Sure.
They can take bumps and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
While this match, there's not going to be much of a winner here. I'm still excited to see what's going to happen. I'm still excited to see what Pat McAfee's going to do, and if he is to beat Adam Cole, I'm sure he will talk about it for a long time.
I agree.
Next match did you pick Adam Cole? You picked Adam Cole.
I did pick Adam Cole,
so
correct, yes.
The next match on the card we have written down is a triple threat tag team match. It is Breezango versus Oni Lorcan and Birch, and versus Mendoza and Wild from Legado del Fantasma. Now, I have no idea. I haven't seen enough of that. I know that the other guy in that group is the champion. I forget his name. I want to Google his name real quick because I don't want to be that kind of person that just forgets.
Yeah, I don't know much about them. Obviously, I know of Breezango. Oni Lorcan, little bit familiar with. Danny Birch, not so much.
Oni Lorcan is a good. I love watching.
He's a good performer. Yeah. Didn't he just lose against Timothy Thatcher?
He did
on the last NXT.
He did.
Yeah.
So I mean, first of all, we should mention that this is a number 1 contenders match.
Correct.
It's not for the championship. The champions are Imperium, Eichner, and Bartel. Do you think they would push Breezango here?
You know what? I think they will, and they're actually going to be my pick to win this match.
Okay.
I think it's hard to disagree that they were underutilized when they were on the main roster of WWE. They were a great entertainment factor, that's for sure.
For sure.
But I think as talent, like they're
good wrestlers.
They're very good wrestlers.
They're good wrestlers. I mean, you have to remember that Tyler Breeze had that match versus Jushin Thunder Liger.
Yes.
And Tyler Breeze was by himself a great NXT wrestler.
Amazing.
They were just like I'm not saying that they're stuck in this gimmick, but eventually the gimmick has to win. Like eventually the gimmick has to just win.
Absolutely.
So I want to take Breezango, but I don't know.
I think they win. I don't think it's going to be like your typical clean victory, though.
Yeah.
We've seen it before where the 2 other teams are in it and they go for a pin, and then maybe one of the 2 comes in, breaks that up,
and just steals the win. Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be clean, but I think Breezango has to get something from this.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick them too. And I don't want to pick everything that you do, but I mean, I don't know enough about the other guys. And only Lorcan and Danny. If Birch and Lorcan win, like that's good for them. But who are you trying to prove it to?
See, I think you could make a case for them if it wasn't for the fact that Oni just lost on NXT. Like his momentum is not there. It's just not there at all.
It's going to be a good match, though. I'm excited to see what Mendoza and Wild bring to the match.
Yeah.
Haven't seen them a lot. I know what Breezango does, and I've seen Lorcan and Birch enough to know. So I think it's just going to be a good match. But I do think that Breezango finally gets a win, and they can move on.
Yep.
The next match, I think it was just added today or yesterday, is Timothy Thatcher, sorry I can't spell my T's right, versus the Prince, Finn Balor.
Correct, yes.
It's a very last minute match, but it's 2 people that can work really well.
Yes.
I think Thatcher is going to win.
Okay.
Mostly because, listen, he came in and they gave him the tag team title right away because Pete Dunne was hurt with Matt Riddle.
Yeah.
But then he has an amazing match with Riddle in that cage. and then it kind of stopped a little bit. And he's been fighting here and there, but I think that this would be perfect. It'll push a new star. And I think, Balor has done it all. He's been a world champion, even though it was only for one day. But I think I'm going to take Thatcher here. I think he'll wow us, and I think Balor can work with him really well.
I think I have like a weird theory about this match. So I don't know if it was it last year or was it 2018 where Finn Balor wrestled
Was it Styles?
Baron Corbin at SummerSlam.
Oh, I believe it was.
I think it was 2018. I think it was 2018.
I'm going to fact check it. But was it when he was a demon?
Yeah, it was when he unexpectedly just came in as the demon.
SummerSlam 2018.
Yeah, no one was expecting him to come out as a demon, and he just showed up. Complete squash match with Baron Corbin.
I think that's how you got to book the demon, though.
Yes.
The demon hasn't lost.
Yeah, I agree. If you're doing the demon, it has to be a squash match. But I think if Finn Balor is wrestling close to SummerSlam, I think they might just throw in the demon.
Yeah, you think so?
So I'm going with Finn Balor for this. I think it's gonna be Finn Balor, but I think it's gonna be Demon Balor. If it's not the demon, I think I have to agree with you that Timothy's gonna win it.
Yeah.
But I do think that we're gonna see the Balor or the demon.
The demon
on
I'll
Saturday.
That for the next podcast for sure.
Sure.
I think it's going to be a great match, though. I think that this might be the type of match to just steal the show.
Yeah.
Because we know what Balor can do in that ring, and we know that his offense is one of the best offenses in the business right now. So it's going to be a good match. But I think in the end, you got to try to push some other people because the way that the roster on the Raw and SmackDown is looking, I think that some of the NXT guys calls up. You could argue that they're in Retribution or whatever.
Yep.
But I think that Timothy Thatcher wins this match, and I think that it might set up a North American Championship match for them.
All right, that's
That's
fair.
my prediction.
That's fair.
And finally, for NXT Takeover, the main event, which is, it's the main event. It's Keith Lee, the champion, versus Karrion Kross, or as the indie fans know it, Killer Kross, with Scarlett for the NXT Championship.
I am so excited for this match.
This is probably going to be the best match. I know I just said that Balor and Thatcher was going to be the show stealer, but let's be real. Keith Lee and Karrion Kross, they're just going to hit each other so hard.
God.
And I don't know. I think Keith Lee just won, but I don't know. Kross is a pretty big friggin' thing.
Okay, this is what my problem was with The Fiend.
Okay.
Where they built him up as this big monster and stuff, and then they started
indestructible character,
and then they started making him lose.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross, they're building him up as this insane monster as well. Maybe not to the same degree as the Fiend, obviously not.
But I see where you're going.
But I think it would just be a wasted opportunity to not make him win this. I think it just kills the character development. And he hasn't been in NXT for long either. Give the guy a chance. Come on. Keith Lee is going to have plenty of opportunities to be on top of that company.
Of course. I think that Keith Lee's winning of both belts kind of cements his legacy already in NXT. Mm-hmm. And I don't think he's the Gargano or Ciampa kind of guy that would just stay in NXT for as long as he can. I think that the way he wrestles, he can adapt to anyone, and we saw that with the Survivor Series match.
Yes.
We saw that at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I think Keith is fine losing this match. I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that Karrion Kross might go on a streak of kind of never losing or being champion for a long time. Mm-hmm. But this Karrion Kross character, the entrance, the matches,
it's beautiful.
He just I understand why he was called Killer Kross. Yeah, he looks like a killer.
Yeah. So
I'm taking Karrion Kross. Mm-hmm. I want him to win the championship. Yeah. I want to believe that he's this unstoppable force. And I think, listen, if you beat Keith Lee, you just absolutely deserve to be the champion.
And I think another thing, and this is all speculation. I don't think there's any confirmation on this, but Roman Reigns might be returning to WWE soon.
So we could set up Roman Reigns and Keith Lee.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, yeah,
I think this would be a good time to bring him up.
Yeah.
And have him feud with Roman Reigns.
Yeah, because Keith Lee's not in Retribution. There's
Absolutely.
no way he's in that. We would have noticed Keith Lee in Retribution.
Oh yeah, I think he's the one with the purple hair.
No, I'm not sure that's him. But I picked Cross. Who do you got in this match?
Yeah, I have to go with Cross as well.
Yeah.
Again, not to have a lot of the same picks as you, but it's kind of hard to pick against him right now.
Let's be real. Keith Lee's done everything in NXT at this point.
Yep.
I mean, that match with Dijakovic was by
amazing.
far a 5-star.
Yep.
And but I think that it's time. It's Karrion Kross time, and I believe that with that thing that they're doing with what's it called there, the time thing.
Yeah.
I just think it's this time.
Yep.
Karrion Kross is going to be NXT champion.
Absolutely, and I think he's going to keep it for a while too.
Yeah.
That's my prediction. I think he's going to keep it for a while.
Well, who could even beat him at that point? Like,
Exactly.
That's the thing.
Pat
McAfee. All right, that's it for NXT Takeover. Let's move on to AEW. AEW does not have a pay-per-view this weekend. They have Saturday Night Dynamite because of a scheduling conflict. Here are the matches. We're mostly fans of WWE because we mostly are ready to see what the pay-per-views are going to do and all that kind of stuff. AEW is still a little bit new for us, but we, for the sake of the podcast and for the sake of us as wrestling fans, we are going to now start watching AEW a lot more. I'm just going to run through the matches, Alex, and if there's something you want to talk about, we can go for it.
Yep.
So there's the Women's Tag Team Cup.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be finishing Saturday.
So, I haven't been following that at all, but I was surprised to see that Allie was tag teaming with Brandy Rhodes, because I knew Allie from TNA.
Right.
And I didn't know she was in AEW.
Yeah.
I thought that was really surprising.
Yeah, Brandy can work kind of too. I've seen a little bit of her. And
really?
She can kind of work.
Okay.
So I could see it.
I think that would be interesting because I know Allie's a great worker. She was champion a couple times in TNA, I think 2 times or something like that. I don't know anything about their opponents, Diamante and Ivelisse. I quickly Googled them and they seem to be good workers. Right. So, potential in that match. Is it going to be match of the night? I don't know.
Could be.
Could be.
I don't think so, but it could be.
I don't think so.
She's a 2-time TNA champion.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add to that. Like
no,
I said,
that's all I got to say about that.
I think that,
that
would be cool. There is a 4-man tag team match. There's the Lucha Brothers and Butcher and the Blade, who will take on Dustin Rhodes, Cutie Marshall, and the Jurassic Express. Yep. I've loved the way the Jurassic Express has been working lately. The Lucha Bros are always amazing to watch.
Of course.
Butcher and Blade are... I don't know how old they are.
Okay.
I kind of want to Google it just to see, but they look like studs, and I like their characters.
Right.
I think that the Lucha Bros and Butcher and the Blade are going to win, but, it's going to be a good match regardless. It's AEW tag.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's 2 other tag team matches in AEW, actually. There's The Elite, which is the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, versus the Dark Order.
Yeah.
And there's also Private Party is taking on FTR, former of the Revival. Did you see that the FTR attacked the Rock and Roll Express?
No. They
literally attacked them, and I don't think it was a destroyer, but Ricky Morton took a big bump, like a pile driver kind of bump. It was really intense.
Okay, wow.
I'll show that to you after the podcast.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
There's going to be a Darby Allin match. They haven't released who is it going to be, but there is a Darby Allin match, so you can maybe expect to see Moxley.
Great performer. I love that guy.
Something like that. Maybe MJF, probably not, but it's going to be a good match regardless because it's Darby Allin. And the main event match, which we will talk about a little bit, is Cody, the American Nightmare Cody, versus the leader of the Dark Order, Brody Lee.
Wow.
Which is the former Luke Harper, of course, of WWE. For the TNA. Oh my God, the TNT Championship match.
Yeah.
Is this it for Cody? Did he do enough with the belt? Is it Brody Lee's time?
Who else? Who else takes it from him? What's...
Yeah, that's true.
What else?
I mean, we've talked about this a little bit, where Cody's kind of doing the Cena thing with the U.S. belt and the TNT belt, and he said he would. It's not the mid-card belt; it's an actual, And if Cody doesn't want to call himself a mid-carder, that's fine. There's no problem with that. But I think that Brody Lee, you got to give this Dark Order group something.
Yeah,
you got to give them something, because besides Brody Lee, I can't remember what the names of the other guys are. And I think that if you are going to put this group in some kind of power, eventually someone's going to have to win a title.
Yeah.
And I think that this is the way to do it. Give the title to Brody Lee. He fought Moxley for the championship already. He lost that match, but it was a good match. I think that versus Cody, Cody will always give him a good match. Cody versus Brody Lee. I love to say that too. Cody versus Brody. It's really fun to say. But I think that Brody Lee is going to win, and I hope he does. Because at that point, like, who are you trying to build up?
Yeah.
Like,
what do you think of the theory that the former Eric Rowan
gets
involved in that match? Yeah.
That would be cool because he's one of the only ones from that release period that hasn't really shown up anywhere.
Do you think he sides with Brody, or do you think he sides with Cody?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I could make a case for both. I think it would be interesting
Go ahead, make a case for Cody, because I don't know how you would do that.
I think it would be much more fun with Cody because, he's been with Brody Lee in WWE for so long, right?
Right. Rowan, yeah.
Yeah, that was Rowan and...
So he would turn and be with Cody. Because Cody's already have, like, how many people does he have on his team?
Sure. I'm not saying he starts, like, being a partner with Cody, but just for the sake of that match to set up something between Brody and Eric.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
So Brody... Oh, that would be a good match, Brody versus Rowan.
Right.
Yeah. But the way I see it, I mean, I don't want to take a page out of the Wyatt family because that was done. But wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden the lights went out and then Rowan would just be in the ring and then Cody would be like, "What the fuck's going on?"
I think either way you do it is good.
But see, I'm not sure if I like that or not, because I don't know if Rowan could be not an equal to Brody Lee.
Just a staple by himself.
Like, what would he be? Like, it's not going to be the Dark Order with both of them as the leaders.
Sure.
So do you think Rowan would just take a spot in Dark Order?
I don't know. I think it's hard for me because I've never seen him in the independent scene before WWE.
Right.
And the only time he's been by himself in WWE, he had horrible creative management with him.
Right.
Remember, like, the whole storyline with the cage and...
Yes. The cage was horrible booking.
Horrible booking. But at the same time, like, that wasn't his idea. That wasn't what he wanted to do. That was WWE creative, so we can't really put that on him. Yeah. But...
you know what? You're making me think now. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Rowan would show up and attack Brody.
Yeah.
You think that Matt Cardona is going to get involved? If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know. Okay. I know what you're talking about. yes, I do. What's the angle? How do you do that?
Do you make him fuck up, attack Cody, and then it's Cody versus Matt? Because that would be. I watched that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Cody, because I mean, you've seen wrestling so many times that you know that eventually the best friends are.
It never lasts.
So I don't know if you set it up that way. I think that the shock value would be Rowan showing up, but the utter shock value you could do if Rowan can't show up is Matt attacks Cody, and then you set it up for their next pay-per-view.
I think that's fair. Yeah.
So and it'll give a chance for Matt that has been thriving for a chance. Not only, but he's won championships. He's been a U.S. champ, an Intercontinental champ, a tag team champ.
Yep.
But has he ever really held the belt a long time to force a feud? Not really.
Not that I can remember.
You can kind of say the U.S. title for a little bit, but not even.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a way for Matt to get something, and you know how good a friend he is with Cody. I think Cody would sell for him.
Absolutely.
Match.
Absolutely.
But either way, that's the match that I want to see from AEW.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be watching NXT.
Yes.
But I still want to watch that match somehow.
Yeah.
And in its entirety.
Absolutely. I think it would be great. It's definitely going to be a good match. Yeah. No matter the outcome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so from AEW, we go back to WWE.
Let's go.
And I want to talk about Retribution.
Yes.
I want to talk about this group because it's reminding me a lot of another group. And I'm not going to say the name of the other group yet, but I'm pretty sure if you've watched wrestling long enough, you probably know what I'm talking about. So I watched them on SmackDown this week attack Big E and Morrison.
Yes.
And there, I counted, there was 9 people there. It looked like there was 2 girls.
Yeah.
And it looked like there was 7 guys. Now, let's preface this by saying WWE can swerve us anytime and have anybody under those masks.
Yeah.
And like whoever, right? But is it an NXT group? It doesn't feel like an NXT group. I think there's going to be some NXT people in it.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's only going to be NXT people. I
originally thought it was entirely an NXT-based thing, but I'm starting to lean towards it not being.
So, there was a picture.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the picture, but it was clearly former SmackDown champion Carmella.
Yes.
Clearly it was Carmella.
Correct, yeah.
And I've watched over last week.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Carmella.
Yeah.
Carmella didn't show up anywhere.
Nope.
So, I kind of see that. And if you're talking about Retribution, you're talking about a girl that has won a championship and was forced to work with no Chin Ellsworth to have some kind of entertainment value to it. Like,
please don't remind me about Ellsworth.
Wouldn't that be some kind of retribution from her to the company?
Do you think
being like, I can friggin' do this, stop putting him with me?
Do you think that's the point of the group? It's all people that have, I guess, not necessarily something to prove, but something to gain back.
Yeah, like a group of people that have been booked so badly that they're looking to have retribution against the WWE. And I mean, you've seen the spray paint.
Yeah.
Like, there's this, I don't know if it's the same guy, but he's spray painting a W, a circle, and then he crosses it. So I think that's kind of, like, they're going to demand to get booked.
Yeah.
And Carmella, if she's one of the two girls, because I believe there was two, I'm already invested in this group. If you add a girl like Carmella who's been a champion, I'm going to be more invested. And like we can hear rumors all day about people we think that's in. Like I've heard Ricochet was in it. You've heard Ciampa.
I've heard Ciampa,
which I have a tough time to believe just because he said he would never leave NXT.
Yeah. But
if it happens with Ciampa, he better be the leader. I think the obvious person is Dijakovic. I think he's obviously in the group. But like, does this not remind you of Aces and Eights?
Wow, I never made that connection.
Does this not remind you of that?
I never made that connection, but you know what? Yeah, that's very...
Like, it's not as destructive, but does, like, as soon as I see Retribution destroying everyone in the ring, I automatically think of Aces and Eights.
Wow, yeah.
And, like, if Ciampa is the leader of this group...
Yeah.
Like, he's going to be booked really well. Like, how do you even not book this well? Because we don't want to see another Nexus F-up like the last time.
Correct, yeah.
We want to see something good with Retribution. And if Ciampa is the leader, and he has 6 other guys with him and 2 other girls, like, what do you... Like, MVP did not call out Apollo for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, he's obviously acting like he's worried that Retribution is going to attack.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be Apollo's group.
No. Definitely not. That would make no sense.
It wouldn't make any sense for him to be even in it right now.
Yeah.
So, like, how do you book this? And how much destruction can they cause in SummerSlam?
I think, like, Retribution is... It's a really hard thing to do correctly.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible. Like, it definitely can be done. Like, there's a lot of room for error, but...
it's just the mystique of it. You don't know who it is.
But I think a really curious thing is every time we see Retribution, there seems to be more and more members involved.
That's true.
Like the first time there was only a couple, right?
Yeah. It kind of makes me think of, you know how many... I mean, we're not going to talk about the 24/7 champion all the time.
Yeah.
But you know how everybody runs after them and it's just like a bunch of people from the roster just running to get their TV time?
Yeah.
It kind of feels like that where they're all masked and they're just destroying everything. And it's like... There might be somebody in this group that's not even with WWE right now. That's
it could be a bunch of independent wrestlers.
That they just signed and they're waiting for the time to come. So, like, there's no even way to book these guys yet. Just I would say keep them destroying stuff for now.
Yeah.
Until you find people in that group that can work championship matches and all kinds of matches. Because if Carmella is one of the girls...
Yeah.
Whoever the other girl is, why not give them the tag team championships for the woman? Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be Bayley and Sasha right now. Like, they just have it because there's nobody else that's an established tag team of there's the Iconics and those guys, but like established as that's all they do.
Yeah.
you don't have enough. I will say the Iconics. You can kind of say Ruby and Liv if you want.
I wouldn't
but
go
they're
there.
Kind of
Yeah.
just starting again. Like, why not give them belts? Why not? Wouldn't it be funny if there was a United States champion that you couldn't see his face? Like, he'd just be U.S. champ
That would be amazing.
with the mask,
Yeah.
and you don't know who it is. And all of a sudden you have, like, wrestlers wanting to fight these guys to get the belts back. Like, that's a way you could book them,
Yep.
but I don't know.
I think a big question with Retribution is how far are they going to go and how big are their plans?
Yeah.
Because every week they seem to be doing more and more. You know, they attacked the Performance Center.
Right.
They started destroying production equipment and
Yeah.
stuff. They've
Which was
been
probably not the real production.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean, storytelling-wise.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, there's something about them that make me want to watch.
Yeah.
And it has to do with I don't know who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know who they are. And I don't want to be disappointed when I find out who they are.
See, I think that's the issue is I think once we do find out who they are, I think the Retribution's not necessarily their momentum,
Yeah.
but kind of just their aura
Yeah.
starts to fade away.
I'd be upset if there's not a few faces that are main guys. Like, I really want to see this group succeed. And I think that starting them before SummerSlam can easily make a feud till WrestleMania. I mean, if you look at some of the booking of WWE in the past, Daniel Bryan winning the WWE Championship against John Cena, and then Authority attacks him, set up Daniel Bryan's win at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Amazing win, by the way.
Amazing win and an amazing moment.
Yeah.
Like, you forget that Undertaker lost that night.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they've booked this night in the corner. They have all the kind of things that they can do. And if it's the destruction that they're looking at, they better destroy at least one match at SummerSlam this weekend.
I'm going to get back to this later when we talk about
SummerSlam? Okay. But that's my conversation with Retribution. I'm so excited. I'm all invested.
I have one last thing. I saw this one one theory, and I'm not sure I'm sold on it yet. But last Raw, after they shut down everything and stuff, Drew McIntyre gave like a pep talk to the roster and stuff, and Seth Rollins kind of was against it and stuff. Do you think... The theory is that Seth Rollins is working with Retribution.
As like the leader?
As like sort of the leader, because he's the Messiah, right? He's this
let's be
grand
real.
figure now.
Let's be real about Seth Rollins' group just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. He tried to put Austin Theory in it, and it didn't work. He tried to put AOP, and one of them got injured, because there's always one that gets injured for some reason. Every time they get pushed, there's one that gets injured.
Yeah.
If it is Seth Rollins that's in charge of this group, I'm not sure I'd be that happy with it. Because I think that Rollins and Buddy are eventually going to win the Tag Team Championship.
Okay.
And I think that them being with Retribution doesn't do anything to Seth.
That's true.
Well, why would you give him 900 people? Like, he's already got Buddy Murphy.
Yep.
And Buddy's doing really well with what he's been doing and trying to protect Seth. So I don't want to see Seth with Retribution. I want to see Seth with Drew McIntyre. I want to see Seth with Randy Orton. I want to see Seth in these big feuds. I don't want to see... if Retribution wants to attack Seth Rollins, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see Seth as a leader of that group. I think that group is an underground kind of group. And for them to come on in, I don't think that would help them. And I don't think it does anything for Seth.
I 100% agree with you, which is why I said I'm not sure I'm sold on that theory.
Yeah.
And now that you say that, thinking back on what you said about them being a lot like aces and eights,
right?
Do you think to try to mask it, they start attacking their own members, or quote unquote
like
attacking?
Swerve us, kind of like Bubba did.
Yeah.
Not Bubba, Bully. Sorry, sorry, Bully. See, if they do that, they have to do it really well, because I don't want to see the exact same thing as aces and eights. I want to see something different.
I agree.
If they do attack their own member,
I think the way to do it is you don't do it in like a singles match, you don't do it in a backstage match, you do it in some like big setting like a Royal Rumble match, where there's like 15 people in the ring.
Do you remember that Royal Rumble where Nexus and the Core was in it?
Yes.
They took up like 9 or 10 spots in the 40-man Rumble.
Yeah.
If Retribution is in the match for 7 spots, I want to see that.
Yeah.
I do want to see that.
Yeah.
The only way for me to say that you can book them well with attacking someone, and it's that member is part of the group, would be to attack them and not attack the other guy. Because then everybody's going to believe that the other guy is part of Retribution. And so our minds are going to automatically assume that guy's in Retribution.
Right.
And don't even think about the other guy.
Right.
So if they can swerve us that way and do it well, I'm okay with it.
Right. Yeah.
But we'll have to see, because Retribution, I think, is going to last at least a year.
Absolutely makes sense.
I hope they stay.
It has to last a while. I think they have to stay masked
They
for a
have
long
to stay
time.
masked till Survivor Series, till November.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
I'd argue longer. I would actually argue
But
longer.
you kind of want to see a 5v5, right? Like an elimination match with 5 members of Retribution and 5 not in Retribution.
It's not that I don't want to see that, as I think it would be cool to still have them masked when that happens.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe you unmask one at Survivor Series and then you start.
Yeah.
Like you can't do like this Retribution angle and not unmask anyone.
Correct.
Somebody has to be unmasked eventually.
Yeah.
And as much as we don't want to see them be unmasked right now, at Survivor Series, I would much rather see someone. But that's Retribution for us.
That is
I'm really
Retribution.
excited for this group, and I really
Me
want
too.
to see.
Big potential.
Yeah. Okay, Raw Underground.
Raw Underground.
I have not written anything on my page because you have been talking to me and how much you've hated this, and I want to know why.
Raw Underground is the most confusing thing to me right now.
Okay.
First of all, Shane McMahon, how long has he been out?
Since SmackDown premiered on Fox, I think.
Right, so it's been a while. I think
it's been almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year now. Comes back for this Raw Underground thing. At first I was like, okay, this is interesting. The first time they did it, they took a bunch of people that weren't on their regular shows, made squash matches that made no sense. You know, one guy was like huge. What's his name?
Dabakato, I think.
Dabakato. Yes, that guy.
And wasn't he Baba Tunde in the Greatest Royal Rumble?
Was he?
I think he was.
Maybe.
I got to fact check. Just to tell you, SmackDown on Fox debuted October 4th.
Yeah, so almost a year.
Almost a year.
Wow.
I believe that Dabakato is also, I don't know how to write his name.
It's Dabba. Yeah, okay.
I believe that he was, that's not the right guy. This guy's not 59 years old.
No, he's not. Definitely not.
I believe he is Baba Tunde. He really looks like it was Baba Tunde.
Okay.
But this is just a guy that they had in the projects.
Either way, they have this guy wrestling, or not even wrestling, just fighting some small guy who's definitely not going to beat him.
Right.
But
just to cut you off, sorry, but he was Baba Tunde.
Okay, good to know, good to know. But yeah, I feel like, and like the match doesn't make sense because it's not like the match doesn't even last 5 minutes. The match literally lasts 30 seconds. He picks him up, slams him on the ground, punches him 3 times, and Shane's like, whoa, calm down, man, calm down. He's had enough.
And clearly he has not. He could have had more.
He took one bump and a couple of staged punches. Come on.
Here's my thing with Raw Underground.
Yeah.
They're obviously trying something new.
Sure.
Clearly are.
Yeah.
But I don't know, if you take all the people that are on the ground for Raw Underground and you remove them and add ropes to the ring, isn't that just a match? Like, why not have this Dabakato guy, or whatever how you say his name, just wrestle?
Yeah.
Squash him. Why does it need to be underground?
I feel like people are just purposefully overselling all of the moves.
Yeah.
And like, I don't get it. I thought maybe the purpose was to promote new talent, but then they started bringing in Dolph, the Viking Raiders.
Dolph Ziggler all of a sudden is just better than Eric from friggin' Viking Raiders.
What?
He's like the friggin' Brock Lesnar of the Underground now because he's beating Eric. It makes no sense.
There's no clear line or vision for where Raw Underground's going.
And then you have Shayna Baszler, probably the best female superstar that hasn't won a title on the main roster yet.
Yeah.
That's kicking everybody's girl's ass with no name.
Yeah.
And then Nia Jax shows up.
walks in the ring,
and walks out of the ring, and Shayna's like, what the hell?
What's the point?
Nia's supposed to be suspended, apparently. Like, what is Raw Underground? What are they trying? What's the end game here?
There is absolutely not enough information about this, and I can't see a way to make this relevant. I can't see a way to make this that in 3 years we'll be like, remember Raw Underground? Yeah, that was great. What a great time.
Yeah. And, like, there's not going to be... Sorry, but Randy Orton's not going to show up on Raw Underground and just beat the shit out of everyone. It's not going to happen.
It doesn't make sense.
So, why are you trying to promote these guys doing this? Why is Eric from the Viking Raiders all of a sudden this underground character and, like... Why can't they be the Viking Raiders as a tag team?
I don't
know. Why are they doing this? Why is Dolph Ziggler there? Like, if you want to have a match where you're trying to promote Eric, don't you think that, one, he should beat Dolph Ziggler, and two, it should be a wrestling match?
Yeah, I don't know. Raw Underground, confusing mess. I don't see the point.
I want to see what they want to do with it.
Me
I'm not
too.
going to say that it's a horrible thing yet.
Yeah.
But... Sorry, Shayna Baszler was wrestling with Asuka the other night, and they beat Bayley and Sasha, and then she has to go do this just so she could get heat with Nia Jax, while she already got heat with Nia Jax during that tag team match. It's a bunch of people.
Yeah.
They took a bunch of wrestlers that they had. They're putting them in these underground matches, and... They're not expanding their wrestling horizon at all.
It's like if Shane McMahon was like, I want to start my own UFC, except it's still staged.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And, like, I don't want to see one of my favorite wrestlers there.
Yeah, I really don't.
I didn't care for the Hurt Business to go there and beat people up.
No.
I don't care that Eric beats a random person. I want to see good matches.
Yep.
And I want to see new people have good matches. I don't want to see Riddick Moss winning someone in Underground for 30 seconds. I want to see Riddick Moss beat someone and build off that.
Absolutely.
What are you building up to? Like, this makes no sense.
Absolutely nothing.
But listen, if they swerve us in the next few weeks and they start bringing up people,
if they can. Just give us something.
Give us something.
Give us something.
Yeah, give us a champion of some kind or something.
Yeah, they don't even have a belt.
They don't have a belt.
They don't have a
They're
belt.
Just there. I swear to God, if I see SummerSlam Underground, I'm turning off the TV. It's not going to happen.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I mean, the one thing I want to be fair about on this subject, though, is that Shane McMahon has done a lot for the wrestling business.
Yes.
And I'm hoping that this wasn't a project that he started up. I'm hoping that he was thrown into this project and he was supposed to make it good, but a guy like Shane McMahon that jumps off everything can't make something like this good, because I don't see how it helps anyone. Shayna Baszler is already a killer. She doesn't have to go on Raw Underground and beat 3-4 women.
She's not proving anything that she hasn't already proved.
Exactly.
We already know she's dangerous. We'll know she'll snap anyone's arm.
Exactly. So, but as we know, wrestling can change.
Yep.
Either that segment's going to go down the drain, or they'll make something out of it. So we'll have to wait and see on Raw. Now, this topic we just talked about just before we started, because we're filming this on Thursday, the 20th of August. SummerSlam weekend is this weekend. Saturday night is NXT Takeover, like we already said.
Yep.
AEW Dynamite's also Saturday, and SummerSlam on Sunday. Okay? SummerSlam is a big 4 pay-per-view. It's one of the best pay-per-views of the year. There's bound to be a surprise of some kind, which we will talk about later. But did anybody ever notice this? That Payback, the pay-per-view Payback, is next week? It's booked for... Let me just Google it so I don't get it wrong. Payback is booked for Sunday, August 30th.
That's 7 days after SummerSlam.
That's 7 days after SummerSlam. What are they doing here?
So, this was my theory.
Are they doing an extra pay-per-view just in case that they fuck up SummerSlam?
In case they fuck up. I like that. But I think, and there's a lot of reasons not to do this, and very few reasons to actually go through with this, but I think what's going to end up happening is SummerSlam is going to have to end up short because of Retribution. I think Retribution comes and just kills the show.
And I'm on the Wikipedia page for the Payback pay-per-view of 2020. The only match that's been announced is Bayley and Sasha are going to defend the tag team titles against someone we don't know yet.
Right.
So, like, what do you want to do at SummerSlam that triggers another pay-per-view a week after?
Retribution.
So you think that Retribution just attacks everyone at SummerSlam and then Payback will actually have matches?
I think if you said that Sasha Banks and Bayley are wrestling together, I think they do a couple matches. They'll do the Sasha Banks and Asuka match. They'll do the Bayley and Asuka match. They might do something like the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel. But I think like halfway through the pay-per-view, where no one would expect it to just cut short, just blackout. No real explanation. Pay-per-view just goes off air, and that's it. We don't really hear about it. Go to social media. That's where you have to find out.
Twitter would be an uproar.
Twitter would be freaking out. And then Monday Night Raw is the next night, right? I think Vince comes out at the start, announces, this is
what happened.
This is enough. I've had enough of Retribution. Matches that were supposed to happen at SummerSlam are going to happen at Payback now. They probably add a couple more because a couple matches have happened.
Right. That would be a swerve. They would get me with that.
I think that's like the way to book it with Retribution, but I don't know if that's the correct way to actually book it.
Because I would see like a good SummerSlam and then Payback would literally be Retribution attacking at Payback. Because if you think about it, Retribution is Payback.
Yeah.
So, like, that would kind of make sense, I guess, if you want to do the word title.
Mm-hmm.
But having, like, I told you this before, having a pay-per-view in front of another pay-per-view is weird if there's not a WWE draft during that week. Because if there's a draft, there's a Raw, there's a SmackDown, and Payback is all of a sudden a SmackDown pay-per-view. Which makes sense because you just gave belts to new people at SummerSlam, and now they have this real first match to defend them. So, it's a weird booking. I'm probably going to watch both of them anyways.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this has ever happened at the time that I've been watching wrestling where there's been a pay-per-view after another.
Yeah, I can't think of a time.
Like, if it's been dual branded, yes, I've seen that, I think. But I've never seen, like, a full pay-per-view followed by another pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really odd.
It's a weird one.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen.
And it's also weird because, like, I don't know anything about booking the venues and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But what I do know is with the COVID right now, that they can probably book whenever they want.
Or at least have a much easier time booking where
they can book SummerSlam this weekend at, apparently it's a Thunderdome, which I've seen a few pictures. I'm kind of excited and weirded out at the same time. We'll see what that does. But just have Payback a little bit farther at the Performance Center.
Yeah.
Like, do they have this building for 2 weekends and they got to do 2 pay-per-views at it? Or, like...
It could have been part of the contract, but...
Unless Thunderdome is this amazing spectacle that we haven't seen yet. Why is there 2 pay-per-views one after the other?
That's true.
It's a very confusing time. And I'm like I said, I'm going to watch both of them regardless.
Yeah.
But why are they being booked one after the other? Like,
I don't know.
Are you trying to bridge some fuck up at SummerSlam that you have no opportunity there to do it a Payback the right way? Do you have a Payback just in case? Is Payback even going to feature the main event belts? We don't even know this yet.
Is SummerSlam pre-taped? Or is that going to be live?
I have no idea. I'll have to let me Google.
Because I think if it's pre-taped, you could technically just tape SummerSlam followed immediately by Payback.
Right.
Depending on how you want to do the matches for it, but...
I'm not seeing anything where SummerSlam would be pre-taped.
Okay.
But...
If not, then I can't see that happening.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see. But this is a weird one.
Yeah.
This is... I don't know if I've seen this before.
Very much.
But anyways.
Very much so.
So, now... we will pass to the bad booking segment.
Ooh,
this
bad
is a segment
booking.
We're going to have every week, and we're going to look at the most bad, not the most bad booking, but we're going to have at least one where me or Alex will pick out a match, an angle, or whatever from one person, and we'll try to make it either good. Maybe I say it's bad, Alex says it's good. We'll see. We'll debate it. But for our first episode, I don't know how you can make this a good booking. I have no idea. For anybody that cares, this is my topic, not Alex's topic. So, Alex, I'm expecting a nice one next week.
Yeah, I'll get you.
But for this week, okay. You've heard of Mickie James.
Mickie James. I can't say that name rings a bell. How many times has she won titles?
I believe she's a 6-time world champion.
6 times? I think the name rings a bell.
She's the one that licked her finger in the V formation.
Yeah.
You remember that one time?
Yeah, I think I remember now.
So Mickie James returns last week.
Yeah.
On Monday Night Raw. She's supposed to do an interview. Her interview gets cut because of Natalya and Lana. Pretty much setting up a match for next week, which was this week. It's her first match in a while. I don't know when she left. I'm kind of curious to see when Mickie James left.
It was a while ago. It wasn't too long, though.
The last thing I remember from Mickie James before she left was that she was working with Bliss, I believe.
I actually forgot about that, but yes. Did she get injured?
She got injured.
Yeah, that's what it was.
She got injured and she recovered. She was actually a commentator on Main Event, which it was at the movie. Yeah. No, it's for the Main Event of their other show that they produce talent, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She comes back.
Yes.
She faces Natalya. I got nothing against Natalya. She's a great worker. She's been there forever. She's an okay champion. She's technical a little bit. But she's not Charlotte. She's not Bayley. She's not Becky.
I agree.
She's not any of the fourth women.
Yeah.
Sasha. Sorry, Sasha.
Yeah.
She gets put in this match against Natalya. She fights Natalya for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Seth Rollins and Buddy Murphy show up. They go straight to Samoa Joe and start talking. They don't have any microphones. Joe and Rollins are just talking about if Rey Mysterio is going to be there at Raw.
Yeah.
This is Mickie James's first match back. Her return match.
Yep.
Mickie James is 40 years old. She's a mom, and she's a good wrestler.
Damn good wrestler, yeah.
Don't give 6-time championship belts to everyone.
Correct.
The match ends amidst Rollins and Joe still talking about Rey Mysterio, with Mickie James outside of the ring, counted out. The 10 count out.
It's
to Natalya. This is a return match.
It's honestly disrespectful.
How the hell? If you want to push Natalya, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But this is a return match. You would think that Mickie James would have won her return match.
And like there's a way to make someone lose their return match. You still have to give them some kind of moment, some kind of pop. You have to put focus on them.
Some kind of respect.
There was none of that in that match.
None of that
Not a
at
single bit.
What are they doing with Mickie James? It's not like it's Paige coming back at 26 years old, fixed her injuries and whatever. It's Mickie James. She's 40 years old. She's probably got a few years left, mind you. But you're making her return match a count-out loss. I can't remember somebody returning, losing in this fashion, and Rollins and Joe are just talking over everything. The bell rings, and Joe and Rollins are still talking.
Yep.
What kind of disrespect is this to Mickie James?
You know how sometimes during pay-per-views they'll cut the match and put an ad in the middle of a match?
Yes.
It's like that, but you're just covering the match.
You're absolutely covering the match. It makes me think of when Michael Cole was a heel and would just talk over the women's matches. That is
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Absolutely.
It's not helping Natalia at all. It's not helping Mickey at all. And Lana, who needs the help, did not help her at all either.
You might as well have put Mickie James on Raw Underground at that point.
Exactly. You might as well just have put Mickie James there and made her fight someone.
Yeah.
You made her lose to Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
You could have done a return match with Shayna Baszler and made Mickie James lose, but
You know what? That would have been good.
have a good match
Yeah.
and have Shayna respect Mickie.
I think that would have actually been a solid return.
Instead of, what, an hour of Raw Underground or
Yeah.
however friggin' long it is?
And like, even if your point is to push Natalia, you can still do that Shayna match and have Natalia come in and interfere.
Exactly.
Do it that way, make her lose because of the interference.
What kind of booking is that?
You're
You're not setting up anybody. You're completely losing attention of the actual match by doing this Rey Mysterio thing. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't think Mickie James is happy about this. If I was in Mickie James' spot, I'd be downright furious. You're not setting her up for anything. You're not setting Natalia up for anything. This was a waste. And I feel bad for Mickie James, who deserves a lot better than that.
My best theory for how WWE Creative came up with this is they had a dartboard, and all of the sections of the dartboard were like great matches, great matches, great matches, and there was just like this one part that had let's bury Mickie James and make her lose, and then they just blindly threw it, and it ended up on that one, and they're like, well, we got to do it.
What's the point?
There is no point. Like it's such a waste. It is such a waste.
Like, I've seen the shotgun approach where you just try to throw everything and see whatever hits.
Yeah.
Like, you missed. You completely missed. You're burying a 6-time women's champion who is 40 years old, coming back from an injury which she was out for. Got it on my laptop here. Nope. Keep going. She was injured for 7 to 9 months. And she returned 14 months after her injury. A 6-time champion. That's what pisses me off the most.
So, there is no excuse for that.
There's no excuse for it.
Not at all.
Mickey deserves so much better.
Absolutely agreed.
So much better.
Absolutely agreed.
So I'm glad that my bad booking was agreeable, at least. But we will have this segment every week.
Absolutely.
Next week is Alex.
I will pick something, yes.
But this is, like, I feel bad. Like, how are you supposed to push more women's talent if you're booking them like that?
Yeah, that's...
You already have 4 belts for 2 girls, and you're booking Mickie James like that.
As much of a slap in the face as it is to Mickie James, it is a slap in the face to the women's division in general, I find.
Absolutely. Yeah. And both of them have been there for so long. You would think that one of them would have been like, no, this isn't right. Yeah. And it's not right. Yeah. They don't deserve that.
I agree.
But that was my bad booking of the week.
Really unfortunate.
And we will come back next week with another one. We just have to wait for more stuff to happen.
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. The main event.
SummerSlam.
The main event. SummerSlam. This Sunday.
Yes.
I'm excited for it.
I am super excited. And I haven't been excited for many WWE pay-per-views lately.
But SummerSlam is one of them.
I am so excited.
I'm really excited for SummerSlam.
Yeah.
They have 8 matches.
Yep.
Which, before we even talk anything about SummerSlam, can we just be happy it's not 5 hours long?
Oh,
there's
my
8
God.
matches.
Yes.
You can have a barn burner of match, a 30-minute match, a squash match, and have a 45-minute match. I don't care.
Yep.
There's only 8 matches.
Yep.
It's not 5 hours long.
Yep.
Trying to fit everyone on the card.
Yep.
They went with their storylines, and they're doing a good SummerSlam.
Yep. I think I'd say all the matches are...
All the matches are worth talking about.
They're worth talking about, and they deserve a spot on the pay-per-view for one reason or another.
Yes. So let's start with the hair match.
Yes. Hair versus
Sonya
hair.
Deville versus Mandy Rose. Alex, who do you have, and why, and how do you see this happening?
I'll give my reasoning afterwards.
Okay.
As well as who I'm picking for this match. But I think obviously this match has been coming for a long time.
Yes.
Right?
We've wanted to see Sonya versus Mandy for a little bit.
There's no way that was going to last for years and years to come.
Yeah, unless they would have been tag team champs and kind of built a division like that. But they're clearly not doing that because all the belts are on Sasha and Bayley right now. But we've wanted to see Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose for a long time. We kind of got a glimpse of it at Mania, but it was more Otis versus Dolph. So what is your opinion on this?
Yeah, so I think it's really interesting because they both have, I think, pretty different fighting styles. Where Mandy Rose is kind of like the rest of the women's division and she'll wrestle and stuff, but Sonya Deville is more of a
hard hitter.
Hard hitter. She reminds me a lot more of Shayna Baszler than she would have like Bayley or someone.
She has the same kind of thing as Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
I would say she's a little bit more wrestling than Shayna Baszler.
Sure. Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I think that they're comparable.
Yeah. But I think with Sonya having cut Mandy's hair, was it last week or the week before?
A week or two before.
Yeah. I think there's no way to end it other than Mandy getting the payback and cutting Sonya's hair.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that Mandy Rose wins it. It's going to tie into what I'm predicting, which you will maybe be surprised about later.
Okay.
For another match.
Sure.
I am picking Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
I think that, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of a hair match. I mean, I remember Punk versus Mysterio. That was really good.
Yeah.
That feud was good. But I think that it's going to be a good match. It's going to give us a chance to see what these girls are made of.
Yeah, definitely.
Which we haven't seen all that much yet.
I can't really remember much of Sonya Deville on her own as well.
Or Mandy.
Mandy, yeah.
To me, Mandy Rose is winning this.
Okay.
I think that Sonya is going to get her head either shaved or cut like Mandy got her hair cut.
Yeah.
And I'm only taking Mandy for a reason.
Okay.
And that's going to have to wait.
That's
for
fine.
Match at SummerSlam.
Okay.
But my pick is Mandy Rose.
Yep. I'm also going Mandy.
And I don't know, but there's something about this match that just makes you want to watch.
Yeah.
It's this feud that's been building up.
Yep.
And it's these two girls that have been friends forever.
Yep.
And now they're fighting.
Yep.
They probably have the best chemistry against one another.
I think it's going to be exciting, and I think they're going to put on a good match.
I'm really excited.
I think it's going to be better than what people are going to give it credit for.
Yeah, absolutely. Our next match on SummerSlam, it is the Raw Tag Team Championship match.
Yes.
It is Andrade and Garza with the beautiful Zelina Vega against the Street Profits. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins.
I accidentally wrote Angel Farza. My mistake to Angel Garza. My mistake. That was...
What do you have happening here and why? And do you think that the poisoning of Montez Ford will do anything in this match?
I mean, they just brought it up on Raw.
Yeah. It was kind of a way for them to make that angle work.
I still... why? I don't understand that angle. I don't know why they went with the whole poisoning thing. What does it give? What does it add? I think if they're gonna do something with it, I think Andrade and Angel have to win it, but they have to win it without poison this time.
Yeah. I don't know how... I'm a fan of the Street Profits. I love their gimmick. They're how pumped up they are.
Great in ring, I find.
Montez is one of the most entertaining guys on the roster.
Absolutely.
I think that they retain.
Okay.
I will say that I think that Street Profits do retain. I'm sure that Zelina Vega will be involved in this somehow. And I'm sure that Bianca Belair might be involved in this somehow. I do believe that Bianca Belair should have a bigger role as a single star than in this scenario.
I agree.
But I do believe that they will retain with a Montez Ford Frog Splash. There's nothing more to say about this match, really. It's going to be a good match. They're great
absolutely.
wrestlers.
I mean, I've been a huge fan of Andrade since his NXT days, but I think... No, I'm going to go with Andrade and Angel for this one. I think it just doesn't make sense to add the whole poisoning angle if you're just going to make them lose afterwards.
That's fair. And I like Garza and Andrade too.
Yeah.
I loved Andrade with Rey Mysterio. I thought those were great matches.
Amazing matches.
But you got to give this guy more. You got to if you want him to be another champion, you got to give him tag team belts. You got to give him something to do.
Yeah.
I just don't see it being right now because it's another one of these instances where there's a tag team that's formed because there's two people they don't know what to do with.
Yeah.
And when that happens, and then they win the tag team title, to me it's like a big middle finger to all the tag teams that are already established. So I want to see a team like the Street Profits win.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
I want to see that team keep going. So I'm taking the Street Profits.
Yeah.
And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with either outcome, I think.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's all I got to say for that match as well.
So next up is the U.S. match, U.S. title. Apollo taking on MVP. Did you think that at this time, an MVP returned to get squashed by Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, that he would be fighting for the U.S. title all over again? I have to admit, I did not.
I mean, I can't say it was in my mind what was happening.
And we have to say as well, Bobby Lashley and Benjamin are not allowed at ringside. It is just MVP. The one thing I don't like about this, and I said this to you already before we started, was why does Apollo and MVP have the match at SummerSlam if AJ and Hardy have the match on SmackDown? I get that you're trying to sell SmackDown, and I get that match will do that, but I think that Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles could easily be here over Apollo and MVP. If you're trying to book the Hurt Business stronger, you give the belt to MVP, and then you go off with that. That's better than having just the Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles match, because there's no end game for those two. They're just going to switch belts. If MVP doesn't win this match and propel his company up, I think that it shouldn't be on the SummerSlam card. And I think that Hardy and AJ got robbed from this spot.
I think, I kind of have to agree with you there. I feel like this is a recurring topic that's going to keep coming back over and over again, but I think if you're putting Apollo Crews and MVP on the SummerSlam match and not AJ and Jeff, I think it's Retribution gets involved.
Yeah, because MVP did tell Apollo that he might have been in Retribution. I could see that happening.
Yeah,
actually.
I don't think any of them are in Retribution.
Right. Here's what you know what? Now that you're saying that, here's what I think is going to happen. Remember when MVP said on Raw that he always is chasing the money?
Yes.
Remember when he said that?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make sense if he would have paid off Retribution to attack Apollo and nobody would notice and then he would pin and win the U.S. title?
Yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
As to why, and that makes sense as to why you have it on SummerSlam.
And then
instead.
What you can do is build the Hurt Business up for that.
Yeah.
You can just be like MVP paid for Retributions. He doesn't have to be in Retribution. He can just easily pay to be there.
Yeah.
So
I think it makes a cool angle where you have like MVP and the Hurt Business trying to pay off Retribution to keep their titles over and over again until Retribution's just like...
And let's be real, the locker room rally that they've been having last week and the week before that is getting ready for Retribution.
Yeah.
So I think that they're just going to set up that with the Survivor Series match. But I think MVP wins this match. If it does finish, if Retribution doesn't attack, I think MVP wins. I want to see the Hurt Business do well. I think that all three guys have paid their dues. Bobby Lashley has paid his due enough as it is. He's been a TNA World Champion. Shelton Benjamin has been... How long has he been there? And a little bit to show for it. A few good runs.
2003?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
And he was in a good tag team. He's been in good tag teams. He's been a U.S. champ. You know, I want to see this group do well because I don't know how much time they have left. And I just think that this is going to be the chance to do it.
Yeah.
Why not at this point?
As much as I'm not a fan of Bobby Lashley with him injuring a bunch of superstars over the past couple of years and stuff, I'm slowly starting to like the Hurt Business a bit more and more.
Yeah, they're starting to get my attention.
I think they have potential to set up really good promos.
Yeah. And MVP's really good at that. So I'm taking MVP in this match.
I have to agree. Yeah, MVP. Definitely. 100%. Nothing against Apollo. Apollo's a great champ, but...
And MVP's been US champ a lot.
Yeah.
And even if he would win it one more time, I don't think anybody would bat an eye.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good performer.
Yeah.
And he said it himself. He says, I don't know how much time I have left, and I want to be in this role, but I can still take bumps. Mm-hmm. So give him a title. Give him another run.
Absolutely. And, again, Apollo Crews is a great worker. I think they can have a good match together.
Yeah, 100%. Apollo's a great wrestler, and I think that Apollo's just, he's not necessarily the greatest talker. And I think that MVP wins him in that, and I think that MVP's going to win the match as well.
Yep, I agree.
Next up, we have what looks like to me a friggin' double championship win for Asuka.
Yes.
Asuka versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and then Asuka versus Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship. Mm-hmm. I just see Asuka winning both matches. Is that weird? Is that unthinkable?
I think the way that you don't do that is you make her win only one of the matches, and that sets up a feud between Sasha Banks and Bayley, being like, oh, well, this one is clearly better because she beat Asuka, right?
Right. That's a good idea.
And then that sets up a match for whenever.
Right.
Survivor Series or...
I think that the way you got to do it, though, is you got to make Bayley lose her championship.
I think so, too. I think it's Sasha that has to keep it.
Because I think Bayley, with this character that's developing of her being an amazing heel, which... I didn't know that Bayley had that in her. I never thought Bayley was going to be a heel.
No, and I'm pleasantly surprised with this gimmick.
Yes. I think that you have to make Bayley lose the belt.
Yeah.
And you have to have Sasha keep the belt.
And Bayley's had it for so long, too.
Yeah, Bayley's been champion for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlotte's been injured. I don't know why I said that. But
Shade.
I'm a huge fan of Charlotte. I'm not afraid to say
Shade.
That.
You did mention that in episode 0.
Yeah.
Check it out if you haven't, by the way.
Yeah, check out episode 0 if you haven't to know a little bit about us. I'm gonna pick Asuka. I like that booking. I like that, but I honestly think that Asuka might win both here.
Okay.
I think that Asuka might, and then I wouldn't be surprised if they build up Sasha and Bayley to be these two full of belts, and all of a sudden SummerSlam hits, they only have one belt left, and then at Payback in 1 week's time, they lose it again, and they're all of a sudden no championships. So
that would be very interesting.
I'm taking Asuka for both.
Okay.
But I do like the idea of just Bayley losing. I think that that's the way you gotta book it.
That's the way that's definitely how I'm gonna go with it, yeah. I think Sasha wins. Do we know which match is happening first?
We do not.
Because I think the way to do it is you have Bayley go first. Or no, sorry, you have Sasha Banks
Sasha
go first. Yeah.
I think that Asuka needs to win against Bayley by rolling her up. If you roll up Bayley and you win that way, Bayley gets more upset, more pissed off, and then she takes it on.
I think it's really interesting if you have Bayley's match after, because Asuka is worn out. She had a long match with Sasha where she gets properly beat up.
Yeah.
And then she goes against Bayley, and Bayley's like, "Oh, come on, she's exhausted. I can take her." And then Asuka still beats her.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good match.
I think
Asuka's
so
going to win both. I think that's the way that they're going to book it. I don't think they're going to think of Bayley losing her belt and going after Sasha.
Right.
But I like the way that booking works because you set up Sasha and Bayley on their own.
Yeah.
And then you can make somebody else go after Asuka.
Yeah.
And it can be whoever you want. Asuka's going to give a good match. And I think that that's how you should do it. But I do think that they'll book it so Asuka wins both belts. That's how I do it.
Okay. Yep.
So you think that...
I think Sasha wins. Yeah, Sasha wins, and then Asuka beats Bayley.
Just gotta write this down, so...
Because, that Bayley's gonna throw a huge fit.
Right.
If she loses that title.
Especially if she loses in the roll-up.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I want to see that now.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see the roll-up. Okay, we have 3 matches left, and they are big ones.
Yes,
These are the matches that we want to see. We're going to start off with the street fight.
Oh.
Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah,
yes,
with his partner, Buddy Murphy, is taking on the 23-year-old Dominic Mysterio with his father at ringside, Rey Mysterio. Hopefully he's feeling okay after that vicious eye injury. I don't know. Yeah, they probably faked that.
I am so excited for that match.
I don't want to compare this to anything else because I don't want to be that person that compares everything to everything.
Yeah.
But is this the second or the best debut match of all time? Because I know what can be number one, and it's the Ronda Rousey match. Her first Mania.
Okay.
That was the best debut match I've seen.
Okay.
Because she manhandled Steph.
Yeah.
She manhandled Trips.
Yeah.
And she won the match.
Yeah.
So now you have this street fight with this son of the best luchador who's ever wrestled.
Yeah.
Fighting probably the best superstar that WWE has.
One of the best talents
for sure. In this street fight. Now, here's the thing I don't like about this. It's the fact that it's in a street fight. I've looked at Dominic's work in the last few weeks, getting attacked by the kendos, getting wrestled.
Yeah. He can take a bump.
He can take a bump. And you've seen that when Ray fought Brock at Survivor Series. And that was entertaining as hell.
Oh, yeah.
And Dominic was doing bumps. When Brock attacked Dominic, he was taking the bumps.
Oh, my God.
I'm a little upset that it's a street fight because I really want to see Dominic wrestle.
Yeah.
I want to see him do moves. I want to see him do the 619 to finish the match. I want to see, all that kind of stuff. And it's a street fight. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to be a wrestling match besides that. I'm just saying that I think for a debut match, being a street fight, it's a little interesting.
It's... First of all, I think it's a lot of pressure for Dominic.
Yes.
Not saying it's a bad thing necessarily, but it's definitely a lot of pressure for Dominic. It's a high-stakes match with who he's against.
Yeah. Seth's going to give him everything.
Seth's going to work him. Seth's going to work him real good.
Real well.
Oh, yeah.
And Seth can work with anyone.
Absolutely anyone. Absolutely.
I'm not told this on the podcast yet because this is episode 1, but one of my favorite Seth Rollins match is Seth versus Brock versus Cena at the Rumble.
Yeah.
Where Seth just goes off and sells for everything. That match, if you haven't seen that match, go watch that match and watch Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Don't even care what Brock and Cena do. Just watch Seth. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to win. I really think that Seth will put over Dominic Mysterio. What a good way to either finish that feud or have it keep going for a little bit. Imagine the embarrassment that Seth's going to feel if Dominic beats him. He's the heel character. If Seth gets beat by a 23-year-old in his first match, that's huge.
And I 100% think Seth would definitely put him over. I don't think that's a question. I don't think that's an issue. I feel like they're playing the underdog card
really well here. Yeah.
And I don't want to see this be the last time that this happens, like that this match happens.
Yeah. Or this, I kind of don't want to see the feud end just yet. Just yet.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see a 3-matcher of Rollins and Dominic.
Yeah. I feel like if Rollins wins, that's the end of it, I think. Yeah. I can't see them extending the storyline more. What else do you do?
Yeah. You have to have Seth get beaten as the heel.
Yeah. A life for a life match?
Here's the thing that I love about this. It's Dominic. He's 23.
Yeah.
He's probably worked in WWE for a little bit now.
Yeah.
Has taken bumps and whatever in NXT. He skipped straight NXT and he's already fighting the main guy on the roster. That's friggin' rare. You don't see that.
Incredible.
It took UFC's best women.
Yeah.
When UFC women's division started. To do that. And now you have this 23-year-old legacy kind of family who is probably looked up to his dad his whole life, and he's going to wrestle at SummerSlam against Seth Rollins. The only thing that makes me mad about this, as well as being a street fight is that there's no crowd to see this.
Oh,
because
yes.
If Dominic wins that match with a full crowd, that pop goes crazy. That place goes nuts.
That's probably top 5 best pops.
Yes,
right there.
One of them for sure.
Easily.
Dominic, I hope you have a great match. If you work like your father, you're going to be a hell of a superstar.
I cannot wait to see the pictures of them after the match. To see their bodies and how red they're going to be.
Yeah, they're going to swing that kendo stick.
Oh my god.
Now, we talked about Rollins earlier with the Retribution group. I just want to know, I've thought about this, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I just want to know if you think it might. Does Austin Theory or AOP return?
I don't think so.
I don't know what their injuries are. I don't know what the suspension or whatever Theory has. But do you think that there's some kind of altercation that's going to happen here? I don't see it.
I can't see it, no.
And I don't think it's worth talking about it much more. But it's in the back of my mind just because he's had more people in that group.
I think if you do that, you have to give the win to Dominic.
Yeah.
I think there's no other way.
Yeah.
You have him overcome all of those obstacles.
Right. Now, here's the rumor.
Okay.
Now, I've heard this rumor. I think I told you about this a while ago.
Okay.
Remember the rumor where Dominic turns on Ray?
Yes.
Do you think that this might happen? Where they start the match, and then all of a sudden, Buddy's in the match, and Ray goes in, and all of a sudden, Dominic just swings at him?
I don't want it to happen now.
Right.
I think
you want to see Dominic versus.
I want to see the match
at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I want to see Dominic wrestle tonight, or not tonight, Sunday.
Sunday, yeah.
I want to see that happen. I want to see them go through with the match.
But how much would you be surprised if it happened this Sunday?
Absolute shock. Absolute shock.
Could you imagine? Yeah. And then you would set up the WrestleMania, Dominic versus Ray.
I think the right way to book it though is to have. There's 2 ways to book it. I think there's one where Ray ends up costing Dominic the match.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
But I think we've seen a lot of that already.
Yeah.
Like, not necessarily with them, but with...
The other way, I don't know if this is your other way, but I think that Dominic would want to branch off from his father. I think that eventually he might just be called Dominic, not Dominic Mysterio. So, listen, if it never happens, it's okay.
Yeah.
But boy, do I want to see Dominic versus Ray.
Yeah.
When have you ever seen a match where it's son versus father? Have you ever seen that kind of match? I can't say that. In the last 10 years. Has
Dusty wrestled?
Dusty and Dustin and Cody?
Has that happened?
I don't know if that ever happened, but if somebody could fact check that to us and put it on our comments, I would love to see that.
Comments or our email, Twitter, Facebook.
We'll all be telling you guys what that is at the end. So, I'm taking Dominic. I want to see Dominic win.
I have to go Dominic.
You gotta go Dominic?
I gotta go Dominic. Like as you were saying, like I think you can also just book it where Dominic wins, and then on Raw, they go for some celebration in the ring, and Dominic says like, I get it, I'm your legacy, I'm your son, I am your future, you want what's best for me, but I don't want to be you. Right. I want to be better than you.
Yeah.
I want to be what you could not be.
And to prove that, he's got to fight
exactly.
him. Yeah.
Because like as much as Rey Mysterio, pioneered wrestling and amazing performer his whole life, and he's been an inspiration for so many people.
Yeah. Crazy amount of people.
How many world title reigns has he had?
Ray?
1? 2?
2. Well, I think he's credited with 3 world championships.
Okay.
I gotta Google it to be sure.
Yeah.
I know, watching Ray in the last few years, he won the world championship against Angle and Orton that one time. I want to say band count. That one time at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
He's also won against Jack Swagger, the world championship.
Okay.
And that Kane cashed in.
Yeah.
Money in the Bank. And he's been WWE. Yeah, I was right. He's been world champion 3 times. He was WWE champion when they had to vacate the belt because CM Punk had walked out of WWE with the title.
Right.
And then he beats Miz, and then all of a sudden he has to defend against John Cena that night, and then John Cena wins, and then CM Punk shows up again, so Rey Mysterio was just a clog in the wheel of that feud.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ray, I mean, he's a 3-time champion, 2-time Intercontinental, 4-time tag, 2-time US, a Royal Rumble winner.
Right. But I can see
He's
Dominic.
a Grand Slam wrestler.
And you can't take any of those achievements away from him.
No.
But I think like, you can make the case where Dominic just wants more.
Yeah.
He wants to be the top guy.
Yeah.
He wants to be what Ray couldn't be. He wants to not be considered the underdog. He wants to be the guy.
And he's 23 years old.
And he's so young. He has such a bright career ahead of him if all of this pans out well.
He's 23.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that WWE doesn't have it in their minds already that this guy could stay in the company for 20 years?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me. To think that he's 23 and he's going to wrestle at SummerSlam against Seth
And
Rollins.
like, think about it. Technically, Dominic has been part of that company since he was a child.
Yeah, he was doing that
with
thing with Eddie and
yeah.
all that stuff. So that's crazy. I'm so excited.
He's used to not necessarily the lifestyle, but like how it works. And,
yeah, he knows it's a tough schedule. He knows everything about it. So
Absolutely.
I'm really excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Gonna be a great match.
The next match. The match that I believe that WWE backed themselves into a corner here. The Universal Championship match.
Yep.
Braun Strowman, the Monster Among Men, is taking on the Fiend, Bray Wyatt. I mean, there's no winner here. I love both of these guys. There's no winner. You either make Braun beat this character that you've built up and nobody believes it, or you either make the Fiend win and now he's champion again, and who's going to take the belt off of him?
It's like, okay, I'm already...
Because I know of a way to take them off this match, and this is what I said earlier by I have something else with the Mandy and Sonya Deville.
Okay.
I think that Braun wins.
Yeah.
I think that the Fiend kills him after. Not really kill him, but put him to the mat. And I think Otis cashes in because we haven't seen Otis.
That's right.
Be some kind of relevant Money in the Bank holder.
Right. I forgot that he was Money in the Bank.
And then Otis would be champion.
And like I remember when Otis won the championship, was it like the week after he was
the Money in the Bank
with Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
He was like tagging with Braun.
Yeah.
And they had like that moment where he was like, oh, am I gonna cash it in? Am I gonna cash it in? Oh.
So listen, the only way that can work is if Braun somehow beats the Fiend, and I don't even know how you even do that.
But Zach, do you really want the Universal title on Otis? Is that actually what you want?
Listen, like I said before.
Yeah.
If Braun wins, it doesn't help him because he's beat this character.
I agree.
Nobody's going to believe that he can actually beat the Fiend.
Well, I don't know about that because he's starting. It's not necessarily a new gimmick, but he's starting like a new like monster persona that's more than before.
Yeah.
Like did you see his segment in the ring with Alexa Bliss where she just starts slapping him and he's just
he just grabs her and
standing there and taking them all and yeah.
Do you think Alexa gets involved here?
It has to. They've put too much importance on Alexa recently that there's no way she's not.
Do you think that the Fiend and Alexa become a thing? And then because she said that she's very interested by this character in an interview, I think.
Yes. I don't know the right way to do it though. Like, how do
you make the Fiend win?
Yeah.
And then, see, we're grasping right now. We don't know how to make this work.
Because, like, on one hand, I don't see him beating Braun. Like,
I see the Fiend winning this, and that making the most sense. But how do you take the belt off the Fiend after?
See, I can't see Braun losing. I think if you make Braun lose, it has to be some kind of disqualification where the Fiend doesn't get the title.
Yeah.
Because that way you don't have to switch titles. You don't have that problem of who beats the Fiend. And
yeah, you could probably... What you could do is make Braun go insane, and then he can just beat the shit out of the Fiend. And then the Fiend stands up after 5 seconds, because that's what he does.
Okay.
Listen.
Yeah.
Let me finish my point.
Sure.
If he gets up and then is fine, he got all this damage, and then he does the same to Braun, and Braun doesn't get up.
Yeah.
And then Otis cashes in.
Yeah.
Because then you don't have a winner between these two guys. and you do end up with a champion that can be beaten. Because even if you're building up this Braun character as a monster, it won't make sense for him to lose a belt.
I agree.
So they're in a corner here.
Yeah, this match cannot end well.
It can't.
I don't know if they would have the balls to do this. Do you think they make Alexa Bliss torment Braun to a point where he hits her?
Well, he's already gorilla pressed her.
Sure, but like actually just
like a
swing at
punch.
her or something like not like a punch, but like a clothesline maybe or something along those lines, like a boot.
I mean, maybe like if the way I would see that is if the Fiend would gouge Braun Strowman's eyes, and then he would think that the Fiend's behind him. And
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it would be Alexa, but I don't see the Fiend gouging somebody's eyes.
We're like she's in between helping Braun or helping the Fiend, and she goes to help Braun, but since he's blinded and he feels something on him, but he doesn't know what it is, he strikes her. Or
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a weird match.
Yeah,
and I'm not really excited for the match itself. I'm excited to see how they're going to book this. I'm excited to see who's going to be champion, and I think like nobody's talking about Otis at all right now. That's why it's so in my head, because how many times has WWE swerved us in a way where like, oh, we don't know what this person's doing right now. He's not even on TV for a month, and then all of a sudden he wins the world championship. Like this has happened before, and we've seen it many times.
I just like whenever Otis finally cashes in, I don't want him to win it.
But it has to be at a moment where there's obviously not going to be a good outcome.
Yeah.
And there can't be a good outcome in this match.
I agree.
If Braun wins the Fiend, everybody's going to be pissed because everybody loves the Fiend.
Sure.
And if the Fiend beats Braun, not everybody's going to be pissed because everybody loves the Fiend, but the people that watch wrestling for the booking are going to be like, well, how the hell do you take the belt off this guy? Like, that does not make any sense to me.
That's true.
If you want Braun to keep the belt, that's fine. There's no problem there. But not against the Fiend.
Yeah.
If you want to fight Bray Wyatt, the kids show host or whatever he is, and have a good match, fine. But this is the Fiend character. We've seen this character get killed by Seth Rollins.
Jesus, that first
everybody
match.
hated, and then he wins the belt. Everybody loves it. He loses to Goldberg. Everybody despises it.
Agree. Yeah.
Despise that Goldberg beat the Fiend.
It's horrible. It didn't make sense.
It's bad when you see compilation videos of people being pissed off that Goldberg beat the Fiend.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't be a big moment. The Fiend should have been champion at SummerSlam and not fight John Cena. I would have rather seen John Cena versus Goldberg.
Yeah.
I know John Cena wouldn't do a Saudi show, but I don't want to see the Fiend as like this character that can be beaten.
Yep,
I want to see this character. If he's going to win the Universal title, you better keep it for at least a year. And then you find a way to take it off at the time. Probably a cash-in or something like that.
All right. So match result. Who do you got?
Oh my God, I hate that this match is happening, but I am going to go with...
It is a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's one of those... Who are you going with?
I'm going with Braun Strowman. I cannot see him losing the title.
Yeah, but it's not like it's Payback.
I know.
it's a big pay-per-view. Like, we've seen champions.
I know.
Change, so I'm going to go opposite of you because we have been going.
Sure.
I'll take the Fiend.
Okay.
I want it, to be fair, like the pop that the Fiend would get if he wins the championship, everybody would be happy anyways. So I'm going to go with the Fiend, but I do think that Otis has something to do, or Alexa, something like that.
Okay.
Because you could kind of book Otis and Mandy versus Fiend and Alexa, or maybe have like the Bray Wyatt versus Alexa. Like you could kind of maybe do that.
Yeah.
But frig, I don't like this match, and I think they're going to swerve us somehow. I don't know what they're going to do, but anyways. And finally, the main event.
Yes.
Well, this is the main event for me, anyways.
Oh yeah.
Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion, who I feel so bad for that didn't get the crowd pop at WrestleMania when he won the belt. And he's been. It's worse when you think about how long he's been wrestling. Versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Now, First, before we start this conversation, I gotta give props to Christian, Big Show, Shawn Michaels,
Ric Flair.
and absolutely Ric Flair.
Absolutely. In his condition?
Shout out to all these guys
Yeah.
that are putting Randy over.
Mm-hmm.
Because, did you hear this? That there was people that was mad by the way Shawn sold the punt?
Really?
Yeah, there were some people that were actually mad.
Why? I thought the
on
punt was
Twitter.
fine.
Yeah, but what are they expecting from Shawn Michaels that's retired?
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Let Randy have his moment right now. That's what they're doing. They're putting him up.
And I know I've told you this before, where I think this is the first time that Randy Orton didn't like seize up his opponent before going for the punt.
He hit the RKO
and then bounce off the ropes immediately into the punt.
And I don't know if a lot of people could have done that. Shawn did it.
Yeah.
So that's great.
I think
this is, to me, sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
This is, to me, the best Randy Orton we've seen since his legacy days. Remember those days when Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase were his group?
Absolutely.
That Randy Orton was probably the best heel I've ever seen for my experience in WWE in the last 10 years.
In my generation, for sure.
The John Cena matches were amazing.
Yep.
The Triple H
Oh my
was
God!
great TV.
When he kissed Steph.
When he kissed Steph, when he punted all the McMahons.
Yep.
And then he wins the Rumble when he was supposed to be fired. That was beautiful booking.
Yep.
Okay? This Randy Orton here can't lose this match.
Absolutely not.
He cannot lose this match. You just set up Drew and Seth Rollins in a locker room confrontation.
Yeah.
Make Randy win the belt.
Yeah.
And then have Drew feud with Seth. He is too good. And I know I'm blowing his tires because he's one of my favorites. But find me a better WWE heel than Randy Orton in the last 15 years.
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Doesn't exist.
Can't do it. You could maybe argue Edge. You could maybe argue Jericho.
But
maybe Punk. Not even, because Punk was the biggest white hot wrestler that was there at the time.
Definitely not.
It's Randy Orton.
Yeah.
And this kind of character that he's doing right now, and he's killing all these legends, to not put the WWE Championship on him abolishes everything.
And like, there's so much you can do with him with the championship as well. I find, I still 100% think with the direction they're going right now, Randy wins the title, and they set up some feud with Triple H for Mania.
Yeah, that's the kind of feud I'm thinking of this point, because if you look at who he's attacked, he attacked Christian because of Edge.
Sure.
That's fair.
Yeah.
He attacked Big Show, probably because Show might be done. Let's be real. He's 40-something. He's got a Netflix show. He's probably going to be okay. But I love Big Show.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, I'm happy to see him. But if that was it, that was that.
But
Ric Flair, Triple H's mentor, Evolution Tag Team.
Shawn Michaels,
Triple H's best friend. I think that they're setting up Triple H's final match. I honestly do believe that.
Really?
I believe that Triple H is going to have his last match at this year's Mania for the WWE Championship against Randy Orton. And Randy Orton beats him 1, 2, 3 clean. And we have the Triple H retirement match that not that we want because we love Triple H.
Yeah.
But I think that it was kind of like Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
It was time.
I don't know if it's his actual last match. Like, Shawn Michaels still returned for another match afterwards.
Right.
I think they put him in the Vince McMahon slot for a bit, where he's going to start running everything.
Yeah, but that's a heel booking right there.
Sure.
Randy Orton's the heel right now.
Sure.
So you
don't have to do it in a heel perspective though. I meant more along the lines of not necessarily being a wrestler on the roster, but having the ability to put himself in a match if it fits the booking.
Right. Right.
Like he's not gonna just put himself in a match against Finn Balor.
Right.
Or some random guy like that. It would have to be someone that it's personal or...
Don't call Finn Balor a random guy.
No.
No,
he's definitely not a random guy. I meant someone that doesn't have some kind of like personal attachment with Triple H.
Yeah, and no offense to Drew, I love Drew McIntyre, but
Great,
what do you do after Drew McIntyre if he stays champion?
Yeah. He just
Like he needs
goes back to feuding with Dolph.
But yeah, and we don't want to see that. And Dolph's in Raw Underground right now. We don't want to touch that angle. Anyways, I have Randy Orton for this match. There's no like they're building him up way too much. Like, how do you punt all of these guys that are either in the Hall of Fame or gonna be in the Hall of Fame and not make him win the WWE Championship?
Do you think? I don't even want to say if Randy wins. I almost want to say when Randy wins. Like that's how.
I'll jinx it.
That's how confident I am. But yeah, if Randy wins, do you think he ends it with a punt?
Yes.
And do you think it puts Drew McIntyre out for a while?
I think that Randy will finish Drew like he finished Shawn. I think Drew will go for a Claymore at one point.
Yeah.
And he'll either miss or hit, and Randy Orton kicks out, or he missed.
I mean,
I could see a scenario where they both go off the ropes. Drew goes for the Claymore, Randy slides under it,
and then RKO.
And then Drew gets up RKO.
That'd be pretty good.
And then he lines up the punt right after.
That'd be a good spot.
That'd be a great finish. And, like, listen, even though he's been there for a long time, he's been built up to this character.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves the championship right now,
Yep.
and not having it on him is a crime. If WWE somehow makes Drew McIntyre still WWE champion after this, they better surprise us with someone returning that night. Or on Raw.
Yeah.
Because Randy deserves this. He's been always ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Is this the return of Brock?
You know what? That would not surprise me, but I hope it does not happen.
Oh, I brought it up earlier, but the return of Roman.
But I would rather see Roman versus Randy than Roman versus Drew.
I have to agree with
Roman
that.
versus
Yeah,
Drew at Mania already,
that's true.
and Roman won, and nobody.
That is true.
It was a good match, but nobody really.
That is true.
So if Roman Reigns is going to be the hero kind of character, yeah, but see, I wouldn't.
It works so much better with Randy, though.
Yeah, but see, I don't like that either because if you want to book Randy versus Triple H or because it's probably going to happen. You're probably going to see Randy Orton versus Triple H again. And it's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
But how do you make it work with Drew? Like, there's no way Drew has to be involved in this. Like, if Drew wants to fight Seth, that's fine. Go for it. But you can't leave Randy Orton fighting Roman Reigns if you're going to set up Triple H.
Yeah.
If Roman beats Randy, not a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to think that Roman Reigns is going to beat Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Randy Orton as champion, and I want to see him be champion until he loses to a guy like Triple H. Or, no,
not
he
Triple
beats
H.
Triple H.
Yeah, he has to beat Triple H.
That's the retirement match. Because, let's be real, Triple H is a god in WWE.
Yeah.
He's got his own brand.
Mm-hmm.
He's the son-in-law.
Yeah.
He's making everybody watch NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And to not have him have a great final match, and the one person that can give him that great final match is Randy Orton. In case the listeners aren't obviously knowing what my pick is going to be, I am choosing Randy Orton for this match.
I will agree with you on Randy. I do have one question for you. If Randy becomes champion, who takes the title off Randy? Who's the guy to do it?
I mean, you could do Roman.
I was going to say you put Drew out for a while and have Drew come back to win
Yeah,
it.
you could do that too. Have Drew have a concussion off the punt or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think back of how because the last time he was the heel, he never won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Not that he never won the championship, but when he won the Rumble and he went to Mania, he didn't win the championship at all.
Yeah.
And then was put in that John Cena feud, and then beat John Cena. So I don't know. You could have Randy Orton fight a lot of people, and who does he lose to? You know what? If Randy Orton's going to be champion until WrestleMania, and it is going to be Triple H that he's going to fight, I'm down. I want to see Orton be a champion again.
Yeah, me too.
I think that he's the guy that deserves it right now.
Yep. I think, and he's been getting so much more vicious with his attacks.
Yep.
And he's really putting it on people. I think he can put on a good match.
Yep.
Well, I mean, we know he can put on a good match, but
put on a good match. Yeah.
I think he can put on something new, something that we haven't seen from him which is saying something, as Randy's done it all.
But that's how I think they're going to finish it. It's going to be Claymore that's going to miss. Randy's going to slide like the Viper he is, get right back up, RKO, into the punt. 1, 2, 3, new champion. And if you're mad at that, then you don't know or you have not seen Randy Orton perform. And I, for one, think that he is my favorite, but there's a reason he's my favorite, because he actually put the fear in me the first time I watched him, and today I'm seeing the same thing. And if he's not champion, it's a crime. It is a crime. He should have went to AEW, like that picture said.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Anyways, guys, that was our first episode.
Yes.
We covered SummerSlam, we covered Takeover, a little bit of AEW in there. Our new segment, our first time performing the segment, Bad Booking, and a few topics that we wanted to talk as well. If you like what you hear and you want to see us do more, that's not a problem. We'll have a new video every Friday like we explained on the episode 0. If you want to follow us on Twitter, it's at MWPodcast1. If you want to email us questions or ask opinions about anything, it's maritimewrestletime@gmail.com. If you want to check us out on YouTube, which is where you can only see these videos right now, we're still trying to get that Spotify podcast going, but we'll see what happens. It's Maritime Wrestletime Podcast, and on Facebook at Maritime Wrestletime Podcast. We thank you very much for joining us for episode 1. And if you want to talk a little bit about episode 2, well, you can probably guess that we are going to review SummerSlam. We'll probably give out our ratings. We'll probably talk about how we give out our ratings on the next episode. And I think for the ratings, we'll only do pay-per-views, I think. That's what we're thinking. We'll also preview Payback and whatever happens in wrestling at that time. For Zach and Alex, we thank you for watching, and have a good night.
And